Hi, we're playing Wake of the Water, and what I want to do is update my resource location videos to see what has changed in Wake of the Water versus the previous major release. So the first thing we're going to talk about is wood. As you expand your base and your border goes out, then the things that you cut down or harvest outside or inside, I should say, that border, they will not appear. So we lose things such as wood. So the border is right here. And one of the major, we're going to talk about resin in a moment, but these reddish brown trees give you wood and they yield the most resin. So we're getting resin, which you're going to need quite a bit of in the early game. But for wood, the better is to get the larger trees. So what I tend to do is move where I get my wood, because you need wood for making charcoal in the charcoal kiln, for, of course, building. In the very beginning, I'm almost always using wood to build the structures, especially when we're attempting to, we need to get that guy back inside. And then eventually you get the stone. So anyways, the best place for me to get wood is early game. You get to Springlands fast travel, and right below it, next to the bridge, it's fairly flat. So the bridge is, so it's right off the south side. So there's the bridge right there. And when you cross the bridge as you're heading to Springlands, this is a fairly flat, less interruptions from mobs like wolves. And they've reduced the amount of the reddish brown trees that are here, but a great place for resin, the large trees. Yeah, it's just a few wolves. The larger trees to harvest wood quickly. So you need lots of wood, and that's getting wood. So right here, this is a great wood source, and our home base is right here where we start the game. And there's a lot of wood here in the beginning, but as you expand your borders, it becomes less and not necessarily the best source for your time in farming wood. Next, I want to talk about dirt. Dirt is very important, especially in the beginning for getting coal. So I'm out of dirt. You use dirt in a lot of different things, in farming, building, and that kind of thing. So again, once you get outside of your border, you can, I would go out as far as I can. Usually I run right over here and we get dirt. So anywhere underneath the grass, we get dirt. So get lots of dirt as soon as possible, and just do it right outside your base. You can go pretty much anywhere. Just make sure you're not digging inside your border. Otherwise, you're going to have a big hole in the ground, unless you want a big hole in the ground left over. So as soon as we reset the game, this will also reset. Notice I'm also getting stone. So I don't worry about farming stone, and let's talk about that next. So for stone, you naturally get that. I really don't spend any time mining that. You can see the border goes right here. There is a plethora of stone right here, but I would not do it anywhere near. Here is fine. It's outside the border. It's far away. I find even if I'm outside the border, I start mining or farming stone, this hole does not reset where I'm marking. So if you needed stone, these sources are really good because you can actually go down very deep into the ground and you can see we're getting nothing but stone. Next is Flintstone. And so we're at the starter base location, and the wolf cave is right in this area here. And I talked about this in the last major release videos, but if you just head up this road right here towards the wolf cave, in the beginning, you're going to start seeing Flintstone. So this was not quite here in the last major release, so there's a little bit of Flintstone, but you can see it very quickly will start to go into stone. And this goes a little bit deep, but that's not the source. Kill this wolf. If you look at this bush right here, let's go ahead and remove it. There's a patch of Flintstone right here. And if you start going deeper, as in the last major release, there is a ton of Flintstone here. So it's changed a little bit. I don't use this source as much, but when I started the video episodes or series on Wake of the Water, I really go to a better place for Flintstone, because after you get Springlands fast travel, it's pretty easy to get to. So we're at Springlands fast travel right now, and if we head off the southwest corner, right next to where we got the blacksmith, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump off. So the blacksmith is right there, the flame shrine is right there, and then right down in here, as we did it in that beginning of our playthrough, there is a lot of Flintstone. So this really didn't change. There was a lot of Flintstone here in the last major release, but in Wake of Water, this resource, thank you Keen, is still here. And it's just the fastest. Once you get Springlands fast travel or Ancient Spire, just jump down here, mine all the Flintstone you want, swing over here, grab some spark, and yeah, you need lots of wood, lots of dirt. You don't need as much Flintstone unless you're using it for crafting Flintstone arrows, making the shingles that we talked about down in the roof section here. If you're making the stone shingles, I don't waste any time on stone type resources. Everything is done in wood in the beginning, and then we build the new base. That will be done in the other materials that we'll be talking about in later episodes. So you start getting, if you're going to build a rough stone building in the start of the game, you need a lot of stone. And then when you start unfolding or discovering other materials like fire brick, sandstone, limestone, you can start building with these other materials. So that's going to do it for this episode. In the next episode, we're going to be going to Revelwood, and Revelwood is where the game really starts taking off. When you're crafting, building, and advancing the game, your recipes, and we'll get into that when we get there. So thanks for watching, and until that next episode, happy gaming!